Hey folks, welcome back to Grand Adventure. I'm your host, Mark Guido, and we are in the central Utah desert visiting the San Rafael Swell on this episode, so stick around. So I'm out here with my buddies Arnie and Kay, who you've met before. Our intention was to explore Forgotten Canyon, camp at Forgotten Canyon, and do some hiking down into Forgotten Canyon. We ran into a few hassles. Let me explain. For starters, this soil only looked firm and dry. In reality, it was neither. After taking 30 minutes to drive only 3.5 miles on a rough dirt trail, I got to turn the trailer around here. So after getting myself unstuck in Forgotten Canyon, I was running out of daylight. We moved over here to Buckhorn Draw Road, which is an area that I know quite well. Knew we could get a site. It's a beautiful spot. We have nobody around. It's been a very pleasant stay for us. The San Rafael Swell is off most people's radar because it's not a national park or a national monument. On a road map, it's just a large, featureless blob of BLM land in central Utah. Now, I said that we have nobody around, but we actually do have 2 neighbors at camp, but they're really wild locals and truly a couple of jackasses. At least they don't own an open frame generator. There's but one paved road that crosses the swell, and that's a long, lonely stretch of I-70 devoid of any services at all. Few will leave the freeway to explore the swell, and that's just fine by us. So while we were here, we figured, we're still going to go explore Forgotten Canyon. Ran into a hassle doing that too. Getting into the narrow Forgotten Canyon first requires down climbing to the floor of beautiful Eagle Canyon. And hey, just as an aside, if you're trying to disguise a cell tower, you should at least try to make it look somewhat like the surrounding vegetation. But I digress. There are no trails to reach Forgotten Canyon, only vague descriptions on how to reach the bottom of Eagle to access Forgotten. We tried hard, but the last stretch to the bottom is lined by vertical sandstone walls that we couldn't find a way through. We eventually got cliffed out only 75 feet from the dry riverbed with nowhere to go but back up, and had to settle instead for a scenic lunch back at the rim. Actually, that's not a bad consolation prize at all. We failed on Forgotten Canyon on a couple of levels. It's a good thing then that there are a lot of other things to see and do in the swell. First off, there's the Wedge Overlook above the San Rafael Gorge, also known as the Little Grand Canyon. Then there are the MK Tunnels. So we're at the Morrison-Knudsen Tunnels. Back during the 1940s, during World War II, the Department of Defense conducted some drilling tests in several different rock formations around the western U.S. They never let on to what they were doing, but it's really not too hard to figure out. They bored tunnels into the rock, and then they tested the integrity of the tunnels by dropping large explosives on the surface. They never really let on to even the locals what they were doing, but it's pretty clear that they were looking at various munitions storage options during World War II. This is just one someplace, and they've done a really lousy job of locking up the tunnel. One should never overlook the popular Buckhorn Wash Pictograph Panel that contains both barrier canyon-style pictographs dating back thousands of years and a few later petroglyphs of the Fremont culture. At the bottom of Buckhorn Draw sits the San Rafael Bridge, a suspension bridge built by the Civilian Conservation Corps in 1937 to complete a new 78-mile route that for the first time directly linked the towns of Huntington and Green River. I'll bet you folks can see where this is going. Yep, you were right. So this part of the swell is great free boondocking on BLM land. If you'd like to check it out, as always, we'll put a link to the coordinates to our campsite in the video description here on YouTube. If you're not yet one of our grand adventurers, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Ring that notification bell. Give us a thumbs up if you like this video. And as always, we'd love to receive your comments and feedback in the comment section below this video. Until next time, please remember, life is nothing but a grand adventure. We'll see you soon.